Wishkeeper is the Strand Exotic Bow that's been added to Destiny 2 alongside the Exotic Mission, and that one is called Starcrossed. Today I'm going to have a closer look at Wishkeeper, check out the exotic perks, and why this is a great weapon for Strand builds. Plus also, I'm going to walk through the Exotic Mission Starcrossed and give you a rundown of all the mechanics. Without further delay today, let's get right into it. So first of all, how to get Wishkeeper. So to get this bow, you want to complete the Exotic Mission Starcrossed, and that is part of Season of the Wish. It is Week 4 story content. You can access that by speaking to Riven in the helm. Just make sure you're up to date with the story. Starcrossed will be available via the helm until the final shape is released, and that is currently due for launch in June 2024. In the future though, I would imagine this can be added to the Exotic Mission Rotator, although at the time of making this guide, we don't have a date for that. So I'm going to go through the mission in more detail later on, but that is a quick guide for how to get the weapon. Wishkeeper is also a craftable weapon, so once you get your first drop, you can extract the pattern, then craft your very own version in the Enclave on Savathun's Throne World. Okay, next up, let's have a closer look at Wishkeeper. It's an exotic kinetic combat bow, and it comes with the exotic perk Snare Weaver. So precision hits and final blows build energy towards a Snare Weaver arrow that can be fired from the hip on impact. Snare Weaver arrows create a pattern of traps that suspend nearby targets. Then you've got Silk-bound Slayer, so the weapon deals bonus damage to suspended targets, gains faster draw time for a short duration when you suspend a target from any source, or damage a suspended target with the weapon. Looking at the stats, we've got 76 for impact, 67 for accuracy, 47 for stability, 54 for handling, 40 for reload speed, 14 for airborne effectiveness, it's got 80 for recoil, and a draw time of 684. Well, this weapon evolves over time, so it comes with a number of catalysts, but they're going to be available in the weeks following the release of the Wishkeeper. So first of all, we've got Enduring Snare Refit. That is where Snare Weaver traps last longer. We've got Multi-Threaded Snare Refit, where Snare Weaver traps can suspend more targets. We've got a Vorpal Weapon Refit. That increases the damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. Then you've got Hatchling Refit, so precision final blows will rapidly defeating targets with their non-precision weapon spawns a Threadling at the target's location. So I really can't wait for that one. I think the Hatchling one looks very, very good indeed. Well, next up today, let's have a look at the Starcrossed mission itself. So Starcrossed is quite similar to Operation Seraph Shield in that they make your way through various encounters and bosses, and you get the Wishkeeper on the end of your first run. You can also extract the pattern and make it craftable. In the following weeks as well, new catalysts are going to be made available for Wishkeeper, so that is definitely something to look forward to. Starcrossed itself is set in the Black Garden, and we venture in there with Riven and Crow on comms. The mission itself is fairly linear, but there are some key mechanics along the way. You're going to learn one mechanic, then another, then you're going to put them together before facing off against the final boss. Well, first of all, we've got Traverse the Black Garden, so you're going to start in the Black Garden in a large cavernous zone with trees and flowers. You want to make your way over to the opposite side of the arena. You want to jump. It's a little jumping puzzle here, and you would basically want to follow the Vex that attack you. So once you've made it through this section, you'll be in an open area where the instructions say approach the structure. So kill the Vex and the Taken. You can see a blue glowing patch on the ground, and this is going to give you a buff called Sire's Obligation. So this one is your first important mechanic throughout this exotic mission, as this buff allows you to kill enemies called Obdurate Phalanx. So keep moving forward and you're going to meet one of these and you can kill it because you've got that buff called Sire's Obligation, and once you've killed it, move forward into the gate and it's on to the next encounter. Well, the next area is called Overland, and this is our first symbols encounter where you're going to see 3 symbols above the exit. You have to kill the 3 Obdurate Phalanxes in the order that the symbols are presented in. So each time you load into the encounter, the sequence is going to change, but you're going to want to kill them in order of the symbols from the top one down, so the highest first, the middle one second, and the bottom one last. Once again, you've got to step into the blue pool to get the Sire's Obligation buff to kill the Obdurate Phalanx near each symbol. Well, next up, we got more Traverse the Black Garden. So once you've opened the way, then we've got to go through the Black Garden again, where you make your way through the tunnels. You're going to appear in an opening, and you'll see another type of pool on the ground, and this one will give you a buff called Dam's Gift. This allows you to move through the orange mist or areas that are blocked off to you. If you don't have Dam's Gift or the timer runs out, then you're going to get damaged, and eventually you will die. Well, next up, we got Access the Transit Mechanism. So that last buff that we just learned, that's a new mechanic, and now we put it into practice while we fight the Vex. So we have to access the transit mechanism. That means getting the Dam's Gift buff, venturing into the structure, and killing the Gatekeeper Wyvern. So once we've killed 3 Gatekeeper Wyverns, you want to go back to the middle section, and there's a Malignant Wyvern there and another Vex boss called Ixion Covetous Mind. So kill them both, and then make your way through the gate. Well, next up, we got more Traverse the Black Garden. So we've got another section where we have to go through the tunnels and the caves. It's a mild jumping puzzle, not very difficult, and you just want to keep pushing forward. Next up, we got Deactivate the Barrier. So make your way through the caves and the tunnels. You're going to find yourself in front of another Symbols puzzle. This time, we have to put the mechanics together. So first of all, we have to step into the blue pool and get Sire's Obligation so we can kill the Obdurate Phalanx. But we also need Dam's Gift to enter the mist sections so we can actually get to those Obdurate Phalanxes. So you basically want to have both the buffs combined at the same time, and when you combine them, it's going to be called Crowned by Dragons. So once more, we have to check out the order of the symbols above the door and defeat the Obdurate Phalanxes in order. You know, the top one first, middle one second, and bottom one last. You're likely going to be running in and out of the middle section to get a refresh on the buff, and Sire's Obligation pool, it's quite easy to see. However, Dam's Gift is a little bit tricky. It's right by the bird symbol near the taken enemies. So kill all the enemies in order, then it's time for the final boss. Well, next up, we got the final boss, Archidon Pitiless Mind. So when you activate the barrier, you're going to be able to drop down and get the buffs once again. There's plenty of Taken down here protecting the Vex Mind, and I would recommend going in with a team. It is possible to cheese this encounter by standing on the ledge above the pools, but I would imagine Bungie's going to patch that pretty soon. The final boss isn't really very hard at all, and once defeated, you're going to get the coveted Wishkeeper. Well, that is about it for the Exotic Mission. Overall, it is a solid mission with some good mechanics. I think I need to play it a few more times where I can compare it to the other Exotic Missions. I certainly played Operation Seraph Shield quite a lot last year, and hopefully you're going to be getting in a few runs of this time around. So, also, maybe this one is going to go into the Exotic Mission Rotator in the future seasons, and we can start building up a nice library of content in that Exotic Mission Rotator. There's some good ones in there already. We've got a Vox Obscura Passage, Operation Seraph Shield. This one is also really, really good. Hopefully we can put more and more in there as the months and the seasons go by. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about Wishkeeper, plus also let me know what you think about the Exotic Mission Starcrossed. I would love to hear what you think. Well, that is it for this guide for how to get the Wishkeeper Exotic Bow, and also a guide for the Starcrossed Exotic Mission. And as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and also hit that like button too, would really, really help me out on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I will see you very soon.